business loans are a vital part of our community. They fuel a lot of the businesses that we've come to rely on. And today I'm at Greenwood Credit Union talking with Holly Ferrara, who's the Vice President of Commercial Lending. Holly, thanks for being with us today, for having us at the credit union so we could chat a little bit about business loans. But before we get there, tell us a little bit about Greenwood Credit Union.
Sure. Greenwood Credit Union is a credit union based in Rhode Island. We're in Warwick on Post Road. We've been in business since 1946, and we have about $450 million in assets and over 50,000 members.
So let's then focus in on small business loans. Tell us, what exactly is a small business loan?
Okay. I've been at the credit union for about 5.5 years and manage the commercial lending department. And we focus on small business lending. It's the heart of what we love to do on the commercial side. So a small business loan is really any loan that you make to a small business. It can be for working capital, equipment purchases, lines of credit, even loans for startups. And really a small business is categorized by the size of the company. There's different classifications based on the type of industry that you're in. So generally speaking, if a business has less than 500 employees or has annual revenue less than $7.5 million a year, they could qualify as a small business. So based on that information, the vast majority of businesses in the state of Rhode Island are considered small businesses.
Interesting. So a lot of them then are eligible for these kind of loans.
Exactly.
Being that that's the case. So exactly how do they work?
So a small business loan is considered a similar type loan application from any loan. We look at credit of the owner, we look at financials, but we go into things a little bit deeper than just credit and tax returns. We look at, as a lender, tax return history, we look at competition, we look at the experience of the business owner, their resumes and experience of the key management at the company, and then also looking at the future of the company, the products and services and how they compare to the market and what the trends are. We can generally try to find a loan that fits the business's needs no matter what type of business they are. They can be a startup or a growing company, or even a company that's been in business 25 years and has stable, consistent revenues. We can typically find something that is tailored to fit their needs.
I see. And when I was thinking about it earlier, is there like a minimum of what the loans are or a maximum of what the loans are when you talk small business loans?
Sure. Every lending institution has different standards and minimums for types of loans that they make. Typically, our loans start at $25,000, but there are other companies in Rhode Island that do what we call micro lending, and those are loans focused on small businesses that are looking for less than $50,000. So there are companies out there that will make loans to small businesses if they're looking for $5,000 or $10,000 even.
So tell me now, how does Greenwood Credit Union go about helping someone through the process of getting a small business loan?
Sure. Many times the whole process, the lender acts more as an educator and teaches the borrower about the process. I like to look at it as the business owner knows what they do, they know how to make money in their business, and I know what I do on the lending side. So we work together and they teach me and educate me about what they do and what their business is, and I help them work through the process of the loans. There's many borrowers that we work with, it's the first time that they're going in somewhere asking for money or asking for a loan, so it can be an intimidating process, and we try to help make it as easy and comfortable as possible.
Do you find that a lot of folks that come in looking for a small business loan to be like not even aware of the fact that such a loan even exists that could help their business grow?
Sometimes, and that's why it's important to choose the right lender that can help them and knows about the different loan products that are out there, and they can inform them to see what might best fit what their needs are.
Yeah, because I understand the way you were just talking about how it's an educational process where that the business person will come in and they're educating you about what their business is and what their plans are for growing the business, and then you're educating them on the loan. So, I can see why, something like that is really important.
Yeah, and many times they'll come in and meet with me asking for one thing, thinking that's what they might want, but then as we talk about it more and learn about what they're looking for, we realize that a different loan might be better fit for their needs.
Interesting. So that brings us to the point where, someone's coming into the credit union, and obviously they're going to apply for a small business loan. But what do they bring? What kind of materials do they need? Are there fees, the money, documents they need? How do they prepare?
Every institution has a different requirement for what they need, but one of the things to keep in mind is that it's very important to be prepared and have the information that you need for the lender that you're meeting with and what they're looking for. So reaching out beforehand and finding out what an application package is made up of is really important. And I like to look at it as kind of like a job interview. You're coming in to meet with a potential employer, and you want to be as prepared as possible so that way you can answer any questions they might have. In most circumstances, what you'd need to have coming in for a loan application, if it's a new business, certainly a business plan that has a summary of what you're looking to do.
I can imagine that's very important.
Very important. And to have a complete business plan, so that way we know that you put the time and effort into doing that, and that you're really you have 100% into what you want to do. And then some of the other things are financials, a history of the company, your resume, and we'll be looking at your credit. So one of the important things is to know what your credit history is. So when you come in to apply, if we have specific questions, you know what's going on beforehand.
Now when you say credit, is that personal credit history or is it the business credit history?
We look at both.
Okay.
But personal credit history plays a big factor in small business lending because many times the owner is the driving force behind the company, and we want to be sure that they handle their personal finances well also.
And when you bring all this in, you sit down, you go through the whole process. All right, paperwork is complete. I signed the paperwork, the whole bit. Usually, how long does it take for someone that's applying for a loan to find out, hey, we got it?
Yeah. Again, so many institutions have different turnaround times for what they do, but I would say typically if you submit a complete application, it can take probably 1 to 2 weeks before you'd get an answer and know if it's something that they're able to do. Because during that process, when a lender is looking at an application, they may have questions about numbers or want to speak to your accountant with some questions. Many times they'll be able to get an answer sooner than that, and I like to be able to respond as quickly as possible to our applicants, but I would say 1 to 2 weeks is probably a safe number.
I'm almost suspecting that it may take a little longer to go through the process of, discussion, explaining what the business is, learning about the loan, seeing what's the best fit, preparing the paperwork and all that. Well, how long does something like that take, that process, before you sign on the line?
That's one of the things I love about my job so much because it makes it so interesting, learning about the businesses. And what I like to do is when I first speak to someone and send them an application package, once they have everything together, I like to set up an appointment and meet with them at their business location or have them come in and meet with me. And we can talk about all that stuff and I can learn about what they do, what brought them there, why they're so passionate about what they do, and learn about what their business needs are and how we can help them finance everything.
Perfect. So, finally, where can someone go if they want to get more information about the business loan?
Sure. When you have a credit union, it's a great resource. Call your local credit union. All of the credit unions have a commercial lending department. You can call Greenwood, ask any questions you may have of us. But then the Secretary of State's office and the Rhode Island Commerce Corporation also have great resources set up for people who are growing or starting a small business, and you can reach out to them. Okay. And then lastly, there are small business development centers in Rhode Island that can provide assistance to startup small business owners that have existing businesses for little or no cost at all.
Beautiful. Holly, thank you so much for enlightening us about small business loans. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
And we'll be right back after this commercial.